You're all right. We got another video. Apparently, this guy goes face to face with a polar bear and lived to tell the tale. I guess we'll see. Face to face with the world's deadliest predator. Let's see what happens.
For as long as I can remember, I've dreamed of standing face to face with the Arctic's most iconic predator.
Why?
The polar bear. Not from the safety of a vehicle or an armored hide, but on foot on their terms.
So people dream of being a doctor, a YouTuber, a streamer, NFL. You dreamed of being face to face with a polar bear? Why? Guess he's one of those people that just chases a rush.
Just hold it. Nice.
Adrenaline.
All on one side. All on one side.
I've traveled to the remote wilderness of Churchill, Canada, and landed at Nanook Polar Bear Lodge, a camp so isolated it's only accessible by plane.
I think what people probably don't understand when they look at this is the fact that we are hundreds of miles from anything. Like, this is so remote. We're the only ones here in an area the entire size of the state of California. That's insane.
You can only
stretching for thousands of square miles.
get there by
This
plane.
sprawling tundra
How'd they
is
build
home
those houses?
to one of the largest polar bear populations in the world. And these bears are no joke. Weighing in at up to 1,500 pounds and standing
That's
10
so
feet
creepy,
tall,
bro.
polar bears are the largest carnivores to walk the earth.
Just never
They can
know when a
also
polar bear's
outrun a
gonna
human
pop
with
up in your
ease,
backyard.
reaching speeds of up to 25 miles per hour. And here's the kicker. They've been known to hunt humans. But if I was going to tick this one off the bucket list, first, we needed to track down these bears. With territories spanning up to 730,000 square miles and the ability to travel over 10 miles in a single day, this was not going to be easy.
All right, here we go. We are loading up into the buggies, and we're gonna head out and look for bears from the ATVs, and then we'll approach on foot from there.
And it didn't take long for us to see the first sign that we were on the right track.
So as we head out here, we've just come into a little muddy
Let's go
puddle
find
track.
some
You can see the difference in the size of the
human
animals.
murdering
So
animals.
this is from the black bear, possibly the one around the lodge. You can see it's maybe
Couldn't
6
be
inches,
me.
and the way the toes come along the top of the pad here. And you compare that with the size of a polar bear foot. Like, look at that. It's just massive from such a big animal. So really cool. There's a lot of bears around here. Two kinds right in the mud. So keep going and see if we can spot those polar bears.
One of the things that keeps the Arctic so alive and full of life in the summer months is the fact that almost everything is edible. The ground here is covered in gooseberries, soapberries, and sea asparagus, creating a feast for birds,
Straight out the
smaller
mud? You gonna
mammals,
eat that
and
straight
even
out the
black
mud?
bears, all of whom gorge on this vegetation during the warmer months. But for the polar bear, this landscape offers something much more substantial.
So you can see there's
Humans.
the vertebrae of a beluga here, and as you come this way, you get this
Beluga
terrible
whales?
scent of rotten death, which is of course from the dead beluga. And then here you have the skull, and you can see just there are tracks everywhere. The bears have clearly ripped this to shreds. Now here's the skull right here, which you can see is pretty stinky, pretty gross. But there's even wolf tracks around, so really, really cool that we just happen to be here at a time in the summer when a kill was made and the remnants of it are around for all of these bears to enjoy.
But one of the bears that had
It's so
gorged on the
creepy.
beluga carcass hadn't traveled far. And as we looked around, we realized he wasn't just passing through. He was close.
All right, so look at that. We've just come up on our first male polar bear. Now it's hot out today. It's probably in
Yeah, and you're his next dinner,
that
bro.
bear is hunkered down, sitting in a cool puddle to stay cold. But there's a large male right there, less than 200 feet away, just hanging out in the bushes. We're really hoping he'll pop his head up and get a look at it. So we're looking at the bear through Mitch's beautiful lens here. Now what's interesting, if you look here, is as you look at the bear right here, he looks massive. He's this giant white teddy bear out on the horizon, but if you see these ears, right
That
here,
ain't no
he's
teddy
got it
bear.
pretty high up on his head and pretty far forward. That means he's a younger bear. He's probably 7, 8 years old, maybe even 6. Once they hit 10 and they start getting older, those ears will slide back further on that big old head. So this guy is massively impressive, but in the world of bears, he's basically a medium, maybe even a schmedium.
But this bear was
schmedium.
just lounging around in the midday sun after a full meal. And honestly, this wasn't quite the adrenaline-pumping, on-foot encounter I was hoping for. However, luck was on our side, and soon we found another large male bear. But this time, Things were about to get a whole lot more intense.
So look at this. This is insane. I don't know what this black bear is thinking. He's moving in here on this polar bear. This polar bear is just still fast asleep. We could get something pretty exciting happening here.
Uh-oh. You doing on my turf, bro?
What a dream come true this was, to be out here on the Arctic tundra with Churchill Wild, tracking down not just polar bears, but black bear, polar bear interactions on foot. Truly, truly a dream come true.
After 2 days of non-stop searching for polar bears, I was ready for some rest. But the day was not over yet, and as the sun set, the Arctic revealed yet another one of its many surprises.
Okay, so Mitch has just woken me up. It's the middle of the night.
There's a polar bear in the
God,
backyard.
I can see him. Dude, that is the Northern Lights right
Ooh.
there. I have wanted to see those my entire life. And right here, look at how this is glowing above me. It's absolutely
That is nice.
insane. It's so spectacular. Let me turn the camera around. Look at that sky. That's my finger. I f***ed it up. It's starting to wind
You
down.
grabbed a potato
So
to
am I.
record
Luckily,
this?
I have this Magic Mind sleep elixir. Cheers to you guys.
What happened to
Cheers,
your
buddy.
4K cameras? Or is it just because it's
So
dark?
really exciting here. As we're cruising through the tundra, up on the horizon, you can see a little cluster of white specks over there. And sure enough, I'm counting 6 polar bears sitting right on that horizon. So because
Them
it's
boys.
so flat and it's so open, they've moved down to the coast. You can spot them from what we probably are 3 or 4 miles away. We're gonna approach on the buggies, then hop off and approach closer on foot. But this is it. We've spotted some polar bears. They're out in the open. Now it's gonna get really exciting.
We've spotted this giant congregation of polar bears. There's 9 out laying here, and then a mother and cub out in the water. 11 polar bears in total. This big guy right here is a male polar bear.
But as soon as this big male locked eyes with us, he started to move in, his body language shifting. Things were about to get really intense.
He's coming to us too.
Yeah, he has a set down. Shoulder to shoulder. Nice tight group. All on one side. All on one side.
Standing shoulder to shoulder to make ourselves look bigger, we stayed super still, and the big male eventually lost interest in us. But soon, he picked up a new target, turning his attention to a nearby female and her 2 vulnerable cubs.
So look at this. We've managed to approach this beautiful mama bear and her 2 cubs, and we are literally only feet away from the world's largest land predator. Now, interestingly enough, as the cubs feed on the carcass, you can see that big male bear is coming in, and the female, in an attempt to warn him, has gone broadside to show how large she is to the male. She's not threatened by us at all. What she is threatened by is the presence of that big male who could easily murder babies. So she's focused on him.
This was the moment I'd been waiting
Get out of here.
coming face to face with not just 1, but 4 wild polar bears in the remote Canadian Arctic. It's a moment I will never forget. But the adventure does not stop here. The bucket list is long, and there are still so many incredible animals out there for me to find. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure.
Good video. Shout out to Forrest Galante. But tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought polar bears were just like in snow and stuff. They're out there in the hot sun. Shows how much I know. I don't know. Either way, good video, man. Good video.